All right, today we're going to be talking about the water cycle, also known as the hydrological cycle in our book. We're going to start out here. We're going to go up and create some water, and then land, and then back down to create some more water. We're going to go up here. We're going to change colors because we want to create the water level was going to stay in the ocean and the lake right here. We're going to actually go across the land too. And the reason for that is because we do reach a point in the land where the soil becomes saturated with water, and we call that the water table. So our water is going to go not only in the aquatic environment but also into our land environment. Like all the other cycles, the sun is the ultimate source of energy, drives the cycle and what happens inside of that cycle. First thing we're going to do is take the sun's energy and have it go down here into our body of water. And that sun's energy is going to heat up the ocean or lake or whatever body of water you want to imagine this is. And it's going to take this H2O liquid, give it enough energy to cause it to change phases and go from H2O liquid through the process of evaporation turn into H2O gas. Now that gas will go up into the atmosphere and will eventually undergo condensation to form clouds. Once there's enough water droplets inside of that cloud, through the process of condensation, it will become too heavy that gravity will then pull down the water that is in the cloud, and that will come down in the form of precipitation. When the water hits the ground, it does have the ability to go through the soil, and that is what we call percolation, the movement of liquid water through the soil. It will eventually drain down through the soil until it reaches the water table, and the large body of water under the ground is called an unconfined aquifer. It is unconfined because there is no top to it that prevents any water from getting into it. So there is no barrier, and it can be refilled from the percolation of water that comes through precipitation. There is a bottom layer to it that does give it a boundary at the bottom, and there's a layer of clay. And clay is impermeable to water. And this creates a bottom layer where it differentiates an unconfined aquifer from a confined aquifer. Basically, a confined aquifer doesn't have the ability to receive any recharging of water through percolation because the layer of clay prevents any water from getting into it. We're going to put a tree right here. And that tree is going to draw water from the soil, and that water from the soil is going to move all the way up the trunk to the leaves and out, and that is the process of transpiration. Water leaving the leaves of the plant going into the atmosphere. We as living things release water into the atmosphere through the process of respiration and also perspiration. We also consume the water by digging wells into the ground and drawing that up from our aquifer. So this is going to be consumption. When we consume water, there's always going to be excess water that we need to get rid of, and that is referred to as sewage. And that will make its way eventually back into a larger body of water, whether it be after it's treated at a wastewater treatment plant, or if it's not treated, it'll eventually make its way back into a larger body of water. Now we're going to have another well right here. And this well is going to be drawing from an unconfined aquifer, and this well is going to be drawing water for the process of mining that industries do to mine out precious metals or other metals they need to create the products that they do. So this water will eventually be used by the factory, and they will put waste into the ground. I'm running out of room a little bit, but we're going to put a crop right here. It could be corn, it could be wheat, it could be soybeans, whatever you might think that it would be. There we go. And the water that we draw from the ground and transport to a new location for the purposes of watering crops is called irrigation. As humans, we sometimes grow crops in locations that don't have enough water to support those crops. So we have to transport the water from a different location across many miles to water, and that is irrigation. If we apply too much water to a crop, the excess water will make its way into the body of water in the form of runoff. Because of the runoff that we receive from the croplands and because of the sewage that is entering into the water, this could end up being polluted water. We learned in the other cycles that this runoff from crops can not only contain water, but also nitrogen and phosphorus from the excess nutrients that are found in that water, which will then leave us with H2O in liquid form. From here to here is the natural sustainable system. We would even include the humans and its consumption. And going from the industry here would be the human alterations to the water cycle. Branch this out a little bit. And that is the water cycle.